Hi everyone, welcome to Seoul Tarot. Thank you so much for coming in. Today we are going to look at how that person felt about you in the past and how they see you now. So what was really going on in their mind back then, and if they could be totally honest with you right now, what would they say? So we have 4 different groups today. As usual, we have this group number 1 with this little teddy bear, and group 2 with this rose gold heart, group 3 with this rhodonite heart, group 4 with this opal. Timestamps are in the description box below as well as the comment section, and I will see you in your reading. 1, 2, 3. So how do they truly feel about you back then? Group 1, how do they truly feel about you? Group 2, group 3, group 4. How do they truly feel about you back then? And why did they act the way they did? Why did they do that to you? Or why did they act the way they did? If they didn't do anything about it, why? Why? Why did they act the way they did? Group 3. Group 4. So how do they see you right now? Okay, so do they even think about you right now? Do they think a lot about you? Yes. Oh. Oh no. Okay, so how do they see you right now? How do they see you right now? So what would they say to you if they were completely honest right now? What would they say if they could be honest with you? What would they say to you if they were completely honest right now? Hi group 1, if you chose this little teddy bear, this is your reading. So how do they truly feel about you back then? It looks like either you or this other person is currently in a relationship. One of you isn't single, you know, maybe you are dating someone, have a partner, or are even married. Before that relationship started, you two might have been kind of flirting or seeing where things might go. Either of you never really flat out said, would you go out with me, or I like you, but you definitely showed each other a lot of interest through Watch and Hinge. If the person you are thinking of right now doesn't match that description, it might be better to pick a different option. In any case, before you or this person got into a relationship, they were extremely attracted to you. And to be honest, I think even after one of you started dating someone else, the attraction was still there. What's really interesting is that you weren't even their usual type. They had never liked someone quite like you before. Plus, it seemed kind of tough for two of you to make it work in a practical sense. But even so, it was like they got swept up in a current and couldn't resist being drawn to you. You had so much fun talking to each other, your conversations clicked, you made each other laugh, and you knew the chemistry was off the charts. Both of you felt it. At first, they tried to rationalize it. They said to themselves, oh, it's not real romance. We just get along so well that it feels this way. But at some point, there was this moment of realization. Wait, if I'm drawn to them this much, I must actually really like them. Then, right around that time, either you or they met someone who seemed like a more realistic match, which made it hard to keep things going between you two. So in the end, maybe both of you ended up in new relationships, or maybe just one of you did. But even after that, you still kept up some playful banter or showed you liked each other. It never stopped entirely. Maybe you kept complimenting each other or expressing interest in small ways. That's why you suspected they still liked you. And you are right, they did. It's just that once someone else came into the picture, they really tried to let go of their feelings and move on. So why did they act the way they did? So if this person was the one to cut ties with you or started treating you differently all of a sudden, it's because they wanted to stay loyal to their own partner, or they felt it was morally right since you already had someone, and if they are the one who got into a relationship, then in their mind, the person they are with or the one they started dating back then simply suited them far better than you. Even if they are quite young, they take the future seriously. So when they pictured what lies ahead, they felt a future with that other person was much closer to what they wanted than the one with you. That's why they chose them. If you are the one who ended up dating someone else, this person probably took some time to think it over and said to themselves, well, there must have been a reason we didn't work out. Then they began to move on quite swiftly, I would say. Of course, it wouldn't have been an easy decision for them, but they don't like getting stuck in the past and would rather keep pressing forward. They've got a strong will to live their life on their own terms and don't often look back. Even if they secretly wanted to carry on the banter or keep those butterflies going, they are the one who will take a direct route if they decide it's best. So at some point, they began putting distance between you two and set out to let go of their feelings properly. If they did start seeing someone new, that relationship was quite happy at the time. They were all excited about it, which doesn't mean their feelings for you vanished overnight, just that they also had strong feelings for their new partner. Ultimately, that's why they chose to be with them. They wanted to focus on this new relationship and enjoy it. So even though it might have been painful in the beginning, their feelings for you drifted away naturally. So on the other hand, if you were the one who found a new partner, they told themselves something like, well, they must genuinely like that person if they chose them, and try to be logical about it. They may have even thought, good on them, in an effort to make peace with it. After that, they might have seemed a bit distant or cold, or maybe they put more effort into finding their own girlfriend or boyfriend. They decided to focus on something else entirely, new goals and new directions, rather than getting hung up on you. So how do they see you right now? This person doesn't completely forget about you, but They are not sitting there thinking about you all the time either. If they are still with the other person, dating or married, they might remember you whenever they have a spat or disagreement with their partner. If they happen to be single now, they might recall you in lonely moments or whenever they miss having someone around. In fact, even if none of that's going on, they still think of you every so often. And each time, they realize they are far more mature now than they were back then. Even if not much time has passed, they've learned a lot from their experience with you and have grown up quite a bit. So these days, they will sometimes wonder, what if it had actually worked out for us? Then they try to see things from a realistic perspective. The more they think about it, the more they question whether the relationship would have been genuinely lasted. On one hand, they go, if we had dated then, it would have been absolutely electric, loads of passion and plenty of affection. But at the same time, they conclude, still, I doubt we could have made it work long term. That's where they stand on you now. At the same time, just having these thoughts in the first place means they are definitely still attracted to you. But as much as they are drawn to you, they are also gradually realizing that attraction alone isn't enough. That simply feeling physically drawn to someone doesn't necessarily complete a relationship. So what would they say to you if they were completely honest now? This person genuinely wishes you all the best. They want you to stay happy and they don't want anything bad happen to you, because they don't have any hard feelings towards you at all. But looking back on your past relationship, what they want to say is our connection wasn't exactly appropriate. It was already going to be rough for you two to work out. There were practical barriers like age gaps, differences in status or position, and so on. Yet, in spite of that, you both got swept up in passion or physical attraction. It seems you showed each other a lot of attraction and affection purely on that kind of basis, Now, as time goes on, they find themselves becoming more realistic about it. In their own head, they've been letting go of those old feelings. They think, wow, so I once shared that spark with someone like this, and they treasure the memory in their own way. But that doesn't mean they are deeply upset about how things ended or wishing they could roll back time and make a different choice. They are simply at peace with where things stand. They also admit they could have told you how they felt before either of you started seeing someone else, but they didn't because they believed the two of you weren't really right for each other. They want to be very clear though, it wasn't because you were lacking in any way or because they didn't fancy you. In fact, they wish they would made it clear back then that their not confessing wasn't your fault at all. They see you as extremely attractive physically, but also they recognize there's a real intellect beyond that. You are clever, capable, and packed with potential, and they wish you knew that about yourself. They reckon it makes you even more appealing. Your intelligence, you're smart. From their perspective, even though it was a short-lived connection, the time you spent chatting and exchanging thoughts still helps them to this day. They feel they've gained a lot from it. Maybe they've matured emotionally or learned something thanks to you or started something new in their life that's turned out really well. Even if it wasn't something material, they might have gained confidence or a better mindset because of you. They are genuinely grateful for that. Because of that, they hope that your brief time together, those conversations and moments you share will be just as precious, valuable, and helpful to you. They think that if back then someone had pushed harder to make the relationship happen, it might have ended with the two of you fighting or parting on much worse terms, so bad that it overshadowed how special you actually are to each other. In their mind, it probably wouldn't have turned out better than the way things are now. So even in this very moment, they are saying, I'm glad and feel fortunate that I got to be close to you for a little while. I really cherish that. So that's everything I have for you, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading and hope it has resonated with you. If it has, please like, share this video and subscribe my channel. I'm offering personal readings, so please reach out to me by email. The address is down below. And please check out my TikTok page. There are a few kinds of really short readings. If you like my style of reading, you will enjoy them. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. Hi group 2, if you chose this rose gold heart, this is your reading. So how do they truly feel about you back then? It seems like this person may have turned you down once, or at least you didn't realize back then that they actually had feelings for you too. Perhaps you tried to show your interest, really putting your best foot forward and displaying your charm, but the more you did, the cooler or the more business-like their reaction seemed. They didn't show any obvious signs of being moved by your efforts, but in reality, they did find you attractive from the very beginning. It's just that the more you tried to stand out, the more they looked at you objectively and reminded themselves to stay rational. Maybe they already had a partner or weren't technically single at the time, or they might have had a lot to lose, like it wasn't the right season in their life to start dating, or they had a certain status or reputation to maintain, so treating one person specially could have backfired. Another possibility is that they are generally quite popular and felt confident they could find someone even better, so they kept their distance. Because you are so appealing and popular as well, it's possible that people around you were talking. A few negative rumors may have been floating about, or maybe some people who got rejected by you spread unkind gossip out of hurt. As a result, they might develop a slight prejudice against you. On top of that, they didn't want to look too easily won over. They had a lot of pride or dignity and wanted to maintain their image, so it was vital for them not to jump straight in. Deep down though, they felt a huge pull towards you. They kept thinking, if I weren't in this situation, if I were actually single or more at ease with my circumstances, if the age or status difference weren't there, or if we had met outside the workplace, I would have approached them right away. I wouldn't have turned them down, you know. So even though they might have given you the cold shoulder, part of them was always drawn to you. But interestingly, once you stopped pushing your charm, maybe after they rejected you, or once you'd given up because it seemed they weren't interested and started acting more like your normal, effortless self, that's when they felt your allure even more. Seeing the real you, or perhaps a different side of you they hadn't noticed, made them feel a much more strong pull or strong attraction. So why did they act the way they did? They felt drawn to you and thought you were genuinely appealing right from the start, but they either wanted to keep up appearances or didn't fancy being lumped in with everyone else who fancied you, or perhaps they simply weren't single at the time, so in front of others they actually reacted quite negatively whenever you came up. For instance, if people in the group started praising your looks or your charm, they would chime in with something like, oh, not my cup of tea, or not really my type, you know. Deep down though, they were very attracted to you. The reason they played it cool was that they didn't want to look like just another person who likes you. They kept trying to suppress their feelings and not show any emotion, telling themselves that that was the logical, strong way to handle it. And if they already had someone by their side, a partner or spouse, then making it clear they were loyal could have been part of it as well. That's why they held back from showing interest in you, and at times might have even rejected you outright. To you, it might have been seemed like they weren't bothered at all, but in reality, pushing you away was no small task on their end. It took a lot of effort for them to keep up that indifference. So how do they see you now? They've definitely been thinking about you more than before. Even if you still see each other just as often as you used to, it seems like you don't get much chance these days for a proper personal chat. They keep replaying the conversations you once had, and as they do, their desire to develop the connection between you two is gradually growing. However, this person has a lot of pride and really cares about their social image and how other people see them. In the past, they openly declared, I'm not interested in that person, so they are now a bit afraid to show that their attitude has changed. As a result, they haven't yet made a firm decision to express their feelings, but they are well aware that they are increasingly drawn to you. It's true that back then they felt a kind of automatic pushback when you try to show your charm or let them know you are interested. They even responded by distancing themselves when you are very proactive. Now they look back and wonder, why did I have such a strong reaction? And they honestly regret it. Whenever they think about you now, they are reminded of the times they pushed you away, and they feel a real sense of regret. They are now finding all those qualities of yours they once misunderstood to be strangely appealing, and it makes them wish they hadn't dismissed you so quickly. So what would they say to you if they were completely honest now? It seems like they've either broken up with the person they were seeing before, or their feelings for that person aren't as strong anymore, and they've basically let go of whatever was lingering. They also assume you've either lost interest in them or completely moved on, but they are saying the more they look back on everything that's happened and reflect on what kind of person you really are, the more convinced they become that you are a truly special connection in their life. Originally, the circumstances made it nearly impossible for them to express any feelings towards you, but now that's changed. It's still not certain if they will reach out directly or really try to deepen things, but one thing's for sure: they are genuinely want to build some kind of relationship with you. So if you still have feelings for them, just know you are not alone in that. They say that the attraction they feel for you is one of the most powerful they've ever experienced. It's so strong, they can't even control it. They are thinking about becoming a couple, but even if that never happens, they want to keep you in their life for a long time as someone important. They are saying one way or another, they want to give it a proper go and see where it leads, and they are curious to find out how things would end up between you two. They are ready to follow through and explore the possibilities wherever that might take you both. So that's everything I have for you, group number 2. Hope you enjoyed this reading and hope it has resonated with you. If it has, please like, share this video and subscribe my channel. And thank you so much for watching, and please reach out to me for personal readings because I'm offering them. The price and everything you want to know, I will reply to you. And please check out my TikTok page. There are a few different kinds of really short readings. If you like my style of readings, I think you will really enjoy them too. So yeah, thanks again, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. Hi group 3, if you chose this Rhodonite card, this is your reading. So how did they truly feel about you back then? This person made it quite obvious that they liked you, even if they never came straight out and said, I like you or let's date. Their facial expressions and actions gave them away. So you probably knew they were into you. Some of you might have actually been in a relationship with them, or at the very least, they showered you with compliments and went out of their way to impress you. They put in a lot of effort and made it clear they genuinely adored you, not just for your looks, but for your personality and everything else about you. They respected you and really wanted to make you happy. However, it seems they never quite understood your feelings. You didn't reciprocate the level of enthusiasm, or it appeared you weren't as keen on them as they were on you. In a way, it might have felt to them like you were playing the upper hand. Over time, they kept accommodating you, but eventually they got exhausted. At some point, they thought, I can't take this anymore. You might have asked for too much or acted like you didn't respect them, which led to arguments or drifting apart. Chances are it didn't end well. They were deeply disappointed, or you fell out over some kind of conflict, and your mutual friends or people around you were well aware of how much they liked you. This person never hid their affection. Their feelings were sincere with absolute no ulterior motives, but from their point of view, it felt like you took all the effort for granted, or perhaps even used them and left them confused. Still, right up until things went sour, they did their absolute best to show you how they felt. They really did have honest, genuine feelings for you straight from the heart. So why did they act the way they did? They wanted a proper, long-lasting relationship with you right from the start. They hoped it would become something official and even imagined getting married someday. They really poured their heart and soul into showing you how they felt. But over time, they noticed you weren't reflecting their enthusiasm as much, and it left them feeling hurt again and again. Then one day, there was some pivotal moment, maybe a careless remark, an action, or a mistake on your part that deeply wounded their pride. That was when they decided, this isn't going to work out. It's obvious they are not really into me. And they started seeing you as somewhat selfish. After that, they shut down entirely. They stopped calling or sending affectionate messages. Even if we reached out, they either wouldn't pick up at all or only replied with brief answers. It was like if you tried to contact them 4 times, they would respond once, deliberately keeping their distance. The hurt they felt at that point was enormous, so much so that they even vowed, I'm going to become a better person, fully let go of these feelings and have a fresh start. Then I will never be treated like this again, and I won't have to suffer this kind of pain. They were determined to improve themselves as they drew the line on their relationship with you. So how do they see you right now? They are not completely over you, that's for sure. They are still check your social media every now and then, keeping an eye on what you are up to. But at the same time, they are seeing other people or going on dates, broadening their outlook basically. They used to think you were the absolute best, but now they've got this confidence that says, I can find someone decent anytime I want. That doesn't mean they've lost all feelings for you though. Deep down, they still carry a bit of a torch for you. And because those emotions were once so strong, it's not easy for them to just forget you. Even so, they are determined to move forward thinking, I need to meet someone better than them. After the hurt I've been through, I would rather not dwell on it. They are really pushing themselves to get over it. So they are out there meeting new people, growing more confident that there are indeed better matches, but they haven't come across anyone who truly overshadows you in their heart just yet. Even if they are currently dating someone, they haven't fully let go of that fondness for you. It might change with time, but for now, they've still got feelings for you. All the time, the future they imagined for themselves is one where they've moved on from you and made a fresh start. They are really trying to head in that direction, building confidence bit by bit and opening themselves up to new connections. So what would they say to you if they were completely honest now? To them, you are absolutely addictive. They want to say at the time, they believed their feelings for you were pure love. But looking back, they say it might have been a kind of like obsession or infatuation, since you didn't really like them as much, yet they clung on and tried so hard. Even so, that's just how deeply they cared for you. Now, they are not entirely sure if they still hold that same pure love, because the hurt you caused them was so massive. They feel you treated their emotion like a bit of a joke or took them for granted. That wound is still raw, and they are saying to them you remain like a devil or a poison in their life. Even so, they are still drawn to you, especially in a physical sense, which feels just as intense as before. They say they no longer want to return to how things used to be or put all their effort into trying again. In the meantime, they've had other experiences, and being apart from you gave them the chance to reflect on themselves. Now they are strongly convinced they need to forget this addictive person, you, and start fresh. Still, they think that if you were to genuinely apologize for how you behaved back then, it might lighten their burden a bit, but that doesn't mean they believe it's possible to go back to the past. There's still too much pain. They haven't forgiven you enough to cheer you on the way they once did. Right now, they say they just want to keep growing as a person and make a new beginning for themselves. So yeah, that's everything I have for you, group number 3. Hope you enjoyed this reading. Hope it has resonated with you. If it has, please like, share this video and subscribe my channel. And I'm offering personal readings, so please reach out to me by email. And please check out my TikTok page. There are a few different kinds of really short readings. If you like my style of reading, you will really enjoy them. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Hi group 4, if you chose this offer, this is your reading. So how do they truly feel about you back then? You and this person got along really well and truly respected each other. Whenever they spoke about you to others, they only ever said positive things. You know, just as you did about them. They were full of genuine admiration and respect for you as a person. Some of you might have actually been in a relationship with this person, but for most, you were the one who first started seeing them in a romantic light and tried different ways to get closer. Eventually, they accepted your feelings, though it took quite a while for you to become close. In that time, you built up a strong sense of trust, believing something like, they will always have my back and speak well of me to others. Chances are you met this person through some kind of professional or public setting. If not, it might be that you saw them as someone you could learn a lot from. Maybe you looked up to their social standing, knowledge, or experience. They had something you didn't, and you admired that. Meanwhile, they recognized that you genuinely liked them for who they were, which made them feel even more drawn to you. If you weren't officially dating, they might have been aware you saw them romantically, but chose to pretend otherwise, or they simply weren't looking to date at the time. It's possible they wanted to keep things strictly professional, yet there was also a part of them that fancied you and saw the potential in your connection. But their big priority though was maintaining a good day-to-day relationship without complications. So it's only natural that you felt confused at times. One day they would appear interested, the next they would act all formal, leaving you thinking, what on earth do they actually feel about me? All the while, they did have some warm feelings for you, but they also had heavier responsibilities or priorities they couldn't ignore. In some cases, they might have already been in a relationship or married. Whatever the case, they kept some distance to maintain that part of their life, but they genuinely wanted to keep you around long term. Not necessarily in a purely romantic sense, but as someone to share respectful conversations and positive vibes with for a good long time. So why did they act the way they did? It seems like there was someone else involved or some outside influence that got in the way of the two of you becoming closer. Otherwise, maybe there were negative rumors circulating about you or the two of you as a pair, which led to a situation where either you or this person had to move away. Even if that wasn't the only reason, after drifting apart, you just couldn't stay as close or see each other as often as before. From their perspective, they had a lot on their plate, perhaps a family or a partner to consider, and they wanted to keep that relationship intact, or maybe they wanted to maintain their status or position. So it wasn't easy for them to actively work on improving things with you once you had grown distance. They didn't really have the time, the courage, or even the strong desire to go that far. Honestly, in the end, with all these factors piling up, it looks like they simply gave up on taking your relationship further, or accepted that the distance between you were inevitable. That's why they didn't take any bold action or say much about it afterward. So how do they see you now? They don't really think a lot about you these days, and because they consider your connection well and truly over, they don't see any reason to dwell on it. Plus, they are incredibly busy at the moment. So many responsibilities and people to look after that love or romance simply isn't a priority right now. In fact, they are working on something that's going rather well, so they are channeling all their energy into that. They hardly have the time or mental space to daydream about the past. Their daily life isn't especially romantic or exciting at present, and even if they are seeing someone or are married, they are too busy and tired to feel any real thrill. That said, it's not like you never cross their mind. You do pop up occasionally, but these thoughts tend to distract them more than anything. The memories of you were precious and exciting, but from their current point of view, reminiscing doesn't do them any practical good. So they are taking a very pragmatic stance, like, even if you come to my mind, I won't let myself get lost in those memories. It's over and I've got urgent things to focus on now. Essentially, they are doing their best to let go and move on, and they are doing a really good job on it. So what would they say to you if they were completely honest now? They reckon for things to have worked out between you two, there would have needed to be a massive shake-up, like their whole world collapsing or their values completely changing, And if the two of you had actually started something, they suspect you'd have been, you'd have burnt brightly for a moment, then frizzled out just as quickly like a firework. From the get-go, you were the one more invested, and it was clear they couldn't give you what you wanted. For instance, maybe you had marriage in mind while they didn't, or vice versa. Either way, they knew perfectly well they couldn't meet your expectations, so they never seriously considered starting anything. And if you did briefly date, they feel it only made sense that it ended rather quickly. Still, you are like a firework in their eyes, you know, full of passion and brimming with life. They see that as your biggest charm. You know, if you post on social media and they happen to check in, they are pleased to see you seem to be doing just fine, and they genuinely hope you will keep living the life you want. They know they couldn't give you what you were after and couldn't properly return your feelings, but from their perspective, you are attractive, popular, and bound to find someone better in no time. So yeah, that's everything I have for you, group number 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading and hope it has resonated with you. If it has, please like, share this video and subscribe my channel. And thank you so much for watching, and I'm offering personal readings, so please reach out to me by email, and please check out my TikTok page. There are a few kinds of really short readings. So yeah, what else? And thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.